Bitcoin is at all-time high, or at least it was at all-time high very recently. It dropped a little bit, which is normal. That's because of the golden cross. The golden cross happens when the 50-day moving average crosses the 100 moving day average. It's something very bullish. And when that happens, very often there is a momentarily a short correction to the downside before there is a next and final pump of the bull run. That's likely what we're looking at. So I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if Bitcoin reached $150,000 maybe within the next 2 weeks. That will most likely be more or less the top of the current bull run, and then Bitcoin will drop down again for the bear market. How far down, we don't really know. A lot of experts say up to the 70,000, 60,000 levels. But here's the thing, I'm not so sure if that is going to be the case this time around, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because this is the first time in history that essentially the governments of the world establish Bitcoin as their reserve, and also a lot of companies such as MicroStrategy, they just really bank on Bitcoin. The ETFs bank on Bitcoin. Lots of institutional investment money that flows into Bitcoin right now, and the actors behave very differently than retail. When we talk about retail, it is people like you and I who just invest in Bitcoin either because they see the great value of it or because they speculate with it. But these institutional investment companies and investment actors, they're going to behave very differently. I don't think that as much Bitcoin will be sold this time as in prior cycles. So it is very likely, I can't foresee the future, but I think it is very likely that the price of Bitcoin will not drop down to 60, 70K. Maybe it will only drop down to 80 or 90K, who knows. If you are investing in Bitcoin, which is something I do for myself, because you see in this asset a way to fight inflation, a way to fight AI replacing jobs, a way to just make sure you have a safe and prosperous retirement, then you also don't really care too much about that correction towards the downside. Even, to be quite honest, 60, 70K is nothing in the time frame. If we look at a $1 million Bitcoin, which I honestly believe that will happen within the next 5 to 6 years, just peanuts. It's not even worth talking about. So if you can afford it, you might as well just invest in Bitcoin, dollar cost average into it, and don't ever intend on selling it, other than, of course, for when you need to cash out. Maybe at some point we pay with Bitcoin for everything, and you don't need to cash out anymore. That's truly a possibility that will happen. One indication that this could happen, not today and tomorrow, but over the next years, is the credit worthiness of countries around the world is suffering right now. And it's really hard for countries to sell their treasury bills, which is very important for basically the financial system as it is. And chances are that a lot of investment firms and even nation states will pivot over to things such as precious metals and commodities, but also, of course, Bitcoin. You should give it a deep thought and start positioning yourself so that you don't miss out on that movement. Let me know if you have any questions about this. I know it's not straightforward for everyone to navigate this. That's why I'm here for. I just don't want you to miss out on that life-changing opportunity, the wealth transfer, as we call it. The wealth transfer in which the future-proof reserves slowly transition from the treasury bonds to assets such as Bitcoin.